The space station Orion Gate floated between two stars like a silver city. It was a place where many races lived together: tall insect aliens, blue-skinned traders, heavy stone beings, and humans. Humans were new to this alliance. They were not the strongest race. They were not the biggest. But they followed rules very strictly. That was the problem for Zira. Zira was an alien girl from the Craxian race, a proud warrior species. Her people believed only strength mattered. Rules were for the weak. Fear was respect. She walked through the main hall with her tail swinging and eyes sharp. Humans moved supplies calmly around her. One human worker accidentally brushed past her shoulder. Zira stopped. "Watch where you walk. Soft skin," she said loudly. The hall went quiet. The human turned and said calmly, "Sorry, it was not my intention." Zira laughed. "Pathetic," she said, pushing a crate with her foot. The crate hit the wall and fell open. Medical supplies spilled onto the floor. Gasps filled the hall. Breaking supplies was against station law. A few aliens stepped back. They expected shouting. They expected fear. Humans were supposed to be weak, but no one shouted. A human officer walked forward. His name was Commander Ethan Hale. He was not tall. He did not carry a heavy weapon. His face was calm. "Miss Zira," he said, reading from his wrist screen, "you have broken Station Rule 17. Zira crossed her arms. "So what?" she replied. "Your rules do not scare me." Some aliens smiled. They wanted to see what humans would do. Ethan looked at the broken supplies. Then he looked back. At Zira, rules are not made to scare, he said. They are made to protect. Zira stepped closer to him. She was taller, stronger. "You think you can protect me?" she said, her voice low and mocking. Ethan did not step back. "Everyone on this station is under the same law," he replied. "Human or alien?" Zira laughed again. A loud, sharp sound. "In my world," she said, "law belongs to the strong." She turned and kicked another crate harder this time. It crashed, sparks flying. Now the hall was silent. This was no longer a mistake. This was a challenge. Ethan tapped his wrist device. "Security," he said calmly. "Log a second violation." Zira's smile faded just a little. "You dare?" she said. "I must," Ethan replied. "That is my duty." 2 human guards arrived. They did not rush. They did not draw weapons. Zira expected chains, pain, force. Instead, Ethan spoke again. "Zira of the Craxian race," he said. "You will attend a disciplinary review." She tilted her head. "Disciplinary? What?" "It means you will learn why these rules exist," Ethan answered. She laughed once more. "You think lessons work on warriors?" Ethan finally smiled. "Yes," he said. "They do, especially on warriors." The guards gestured for her to follow. Zira hesitated. Something felt wrong. Humans were not angry. They were not afraid. They were controlled. As they walked, aliens whispered around them. She insulted humans. She broke law twice. What will they do? Zira lifted her chin high. She would not show fear. They entered a clean white chamber. No weapons. No cages, only a large screen and a table. "This is it," Zira said. "Where is your punishment?" Ethan stood across from her. "This is only the beginning," he said. He touched the screen. Images appeared: medical teams helping wounded aliens, humans working long hours, supplies saved for emergencies. "These rules keep people alive," Ethan said. "When you broke them, you risked lives." Zira looked away. "My people do not care about weakness," she replied. Ethan's voice hardened, not loud, but firm. "Then your people would not survive here." Silence filled the room. Zira felt something strange. Not fear, not anger, pressure. For the next 7 cycles, Ethan continued, "You will work under human supervision. You will repair what you damaged. You will protect those you insulted. And you will learn control. Zira's eyes widened. You cannot command me, she said. Ethan leaned forward slightly. You broke our law, he said quietly. Now you face our discipline. The door sealed behind them with a soft sound. Outside, aliens watched in shock. Humans had not raised a fist, yet somehow. It felt like Zira had already lost the first battle, and she did not even know why. Zira stood inside the white chamber with her arms crossed. Her tail moved slowly behind her, a sign of anger in Cruxian culture. She was not scared. At least, she told herself that. Humans were strange. They did not shout. They did not threaten. That made her uneasy. Commander Ethan Hawley watched her quietly. He did not rush. He allowed silence to grow heavy. Why am I here? Zira finally said. Her voice was sharp. In my world, warriors are respected, not judged. Ethan nodded slightly. In our world, he replied, respect is earned by control. Zira snorted. Control is weakness. Ethan tapped his wrist device again. The door opened. Follow me, he said. Two human guards waited outside. They carried no weapons. That confused Zira even more. They walked through long halls of the station. Windows showed stars drifting slowly past. Other aliens stopped to stare. Zira could feel their eyes. She expected shame. But instead, she felt anger. They think I am defeated, she thought. I will show them I am not. They entered a large open bay. Inside, dozens of humans worked together repairing machines, loading supplies, helping injured aliens. Ethan pointed toward the center. This is your assignment, he said. Zira looked around. This? She asked. This is work for servants. Ethan's voice remained calm. This work keeps the station alive. He handed her a simple toolkit. For today, he continued, you will assist the medical team. Zira stared at him. Medical? She repeated. I am a warrior, not a healer. And today, Ethan replied, you will learn to protect without force. Zira clenched her fists. This is an insult, she said. No, Ethan answered. This is responsibility. He turned and walked away. Zira was left standing there, surrounded by humans and injured aliens. For the first time, she did not know what to do. A human medic approached her. She was older, with tired eyes but a kind face. Can you hold this? The medic asked, handing Zira a light pack. Zira almost dropped it on purpose, but something stopped her. She looked around. She saw an alien child with a burned arm. She saw a traitor coughing, gasping for breath. None of them looked strong. None of them looked dangerous. Yet humans treated them all the same. Zira slowly took the pack. Hours passed. She lifted supplies. She cleaned tools. She followed orders from humans smaller than her. Every moment burned her pride. This is punishment, she muttered. No, the medic said gently. This is service. That word struck her harder than any blow. Service. Back on her homeworld. Service meant obedience through fear. Here. It meant care. Suddenly, alarms rang. A loud impact shook the station. Lights flickered. Hull breach on. Deck 7. A voice announced. The bay erupted into movement. Humans ran not in panic, but with purpose. Ethan appeared again. All teams move, he ordered. Zira's instinct screamed. This is danger. She smiled sharply. Finally, she said to herself, something worthy. She ran toward the breach without thinking. Explosive force tore metal apart. Air rushed out violently. Zira planted her feet, using her strength to hold a damaged door. She roared, muscles straining. I've got it. She shouted. Then she realized something. Humans were not cheering. They were shouting for her to move back. Zira. Fall back, Ethan yelled. Why? She shouted back. I can hold it. Because that door will collapse, Ethan replied. And you will die. Zira hesitated. In her culture, death in battle was honor, but humans were pulling injured aliens away first. One human slipped. Without thinking, Zira grabbed him and dragged him to safety. The door finally failed. Metal slammed shut just in time. Silence followed. Zira stood there, breathing hard. The human she saved stared at her. "Thank you," he said simply. No fear. No praise, just thanks. Ethan walked up to her. "You disobeyed orders," he said. Zira stiffened. Here it comes, she thought. But, Ethan continued, "You protected someone." He looked at her seriously. "That is the first thing you did." "Right." Zira felt something twist inside her chest. Not pride, not anger, confusion. For the first time in her life, strength did not feel like dominance. It felt like restraint, and that realization scared her more than any punishment ever could. Zira did not sleep that cycle. She sat on the edge of her assigned room, staring at the metal wall. The human she saved kept returning to her mind. Not his face, his words. Thank you. No fear, no weakness. Just respect. That confused her. On her homeworld, respect came only after victory. After pain. After someone knelt before you. Humans did none of that. A soft tone sounded. "Zira of the Croxian race," a calm voice said. "Report for duty." She stood and followed the lights through the hall. This time, she noticed something different. Aliens watched her, but not with laughter. Some nodded. Some looked relieved. That disturbed her more than insults ever did. She arrived at a command room, where Ethan waited. "You acted without permission yesterday," he said. Zira lifted her chin. "I saved lives." "Yes," Ethan replied. "And you broke protocol." She opened her mouth to argue. He raised a hand, not in anger. "Sit," he said. She sat. Ethan activated a large screen. It showed a map of the station. "You are strong," he continued. "No one denies that." Zira crossed her arms. "Then, why treat me like a child?" "Because strength without control is danger," Ethan answered. He tapped the screen again. A sector lit up red. "This area houses non-combatants," he said. "Children, elder workers, refugees." Zira looked away. "Today," Ethan continued, "you will be responsible for their safety." Her eyes snapped back. "Alone?" she asked. "With guidance," he said. "But the outcome will be yours." This was not work. This was command. Her heart beat faster. "I accept," she said quickly. Ethan studied her. "Good," he said. "Remember, protect, do not dominate." She nodded once. The sector was quiet at first. Families moved slowly. Small alien children played. Zira stood near the entrance. Alert. Easy, she thought. "I can guard this with one hand. Then trouble came. A group of smugglers, alien mercenaries, forced their way inside. Weapons powered on. Panic spread instantly. Zira stepped forward, muscles tightening. This is my moment, she thought. She could crush them. She could show humans real power. One smuggler laughed. "Move aside, girl," he said. "This is not your fight." Her claws flexed. Then she remembered Ethan's words, protect, do not dominate. She activated her communicator. "Security alert," she said calmly. "Sector 5, non-combatants present." The smugglers raised weapons. Zira stepped between them and the families. "No one moves," she said firmly. One fired a stun blast. She deflected it. Not attacking, only blocking. Another rushed her. She knocked him down without striking his head. Her movements were precise, controlled. The fight ended quickly, not with bodies broken, but with weapons disabled. Human security arrived moments later. They stared. No deaths, no injuries, only frightened civilians. Alive. Ethan appeared soon after. He looked around carefully, then he looked at Zira. "You could have ended them brutally," he said. "Yes," Zira replied. "And I wanted to. What stopped you?" He asked. She struggled to answer. Because they were not the threat, she said slowly. The people behind me were. Ethan nodded. That is leadership, he said. Something heavy settled in Zyra's chest. Not pain. Responsibility. Later, as families thanked her quietly, a small alien child approached. The child held out a simple token. For you, the child said softly. Zyra stared at it. No warrior medal. No victory mark. Just gratitude. Her claws trembled as she accepted it. That night, Zyra stood alone by the window, watching stars drift past. She finally understood. Human discipline was not about breaking someone. It was about giving them weight and seeing if they could carry it. And for the first time in her life, Zyra was not sure if she wanted to put it down. Zyra felt different now. When she walked through the station, people noticed her. Not because of fear, but because of trust. That trust felt heavy. Too heavy. She began to believe she had finally understood. Humans, control, responsibility, protection. And that belief made her careless. It started with a small argument. 2 alien workers were fighting in a supply corridor. Voices loud. Tempers hot. Zyra stepped in. Enough, she said firmly. One of them, a tall reptilian alien, sneered. You are not human, he said. You have no authority here. The old Zyra would have struck him. The new Zyra did not. She remembered the rules. She tried to speak calmly. Stand down, she ordered. Security is coming. The alien laughed. And then he shoved her. It was not hard, but it was public. Something inside Zyra snapped. In one fast movement, she slammed him against the wall. Metal bent. The corridor echoed with the sound. Silence followed. The alien slid down. Stunned but alive, Zyra froze. She had crossed the line. Security arrived within seconds. Human guards separated everyone. Zyra did not resist. She did not speak. She already knew. Later, she stood again in the white chamber, but this time, it felt smaller. Ethan stood across from her. You used excessive force, he said. He challenged. Authority, Zyra replied. He would not listen. That does not matter, Ethan answered. He disrespected me, she said sharply. Ethan's eyes hardened, not with anger, but disappointment. This was never about you, he said. Those words hurt more than punishment. You were trusted, Ethan continued. And you broke that trust. Zyra lowered her head. In her culture, this was where execution happened. Or exile. She waited. Ethan turned off the lights. Only the screen remained on. It showed the corridor footage. Again and again, the moment played. Shove. The strike. Look carefully, Ethan said. She watched. She saw something new. Behind her, a young alien had been standing. Close enough to be hit if things went worse. Her breath caught. You were lucky, Ethan said quietly. Luck is not leadership. She clenched her fists. What happens now? She asked. Ethan was silent for a long moment. Now, he said, you face consequence. Her heart tightened. You are removed from duty, he continued. You will have no authority, no command, no role. Just nothing. This is worse than chains, Zyra whispered. Yes, Ethan said. Because now you must face yourself. Days passed. Zyra cleaned halls alone. No one spoke to her. Children no longer ran to her. Workers did not nod. She felt invisible. Anger returned. Humans pretend to be better, she thought. But they punish. All the same. Then disaster struck. A reactor overload warning echoed through the station. Panic spread fast. Zyra was near the lower decks when a blast door failed. Fire and smoke filled the hall. Inside, several workers were trapped. Zyra stopped. She had no authority. No permission. Human protocol said. Wait for emergency teams. But there was no time. She could hear screams. Her claws dug into her palms. If I act, I break rules again. If I don't, they die. This time, She chose differently. She did not rush in with force. She used tools. She sealed vents. She guided people out slowly. Fire burned her armor. Smoke filled her lungs, but she stayed calm. When humans arrived, everyone was already out. Ethan saw her sitting on the floor, exhausted. "You disobeyed orders," he said. Zyra looked up. "Yes," she replied. "But I followed the rule." Ethan studied the damage. The survivors, her injuries. "What rule?" he asked. She took a slow breath. "Protect lives," she said. "Even if it costs me." Ethan nodded once. "You learned the hardest lesson," he said. "What is that?" Zyra asked. "That discipline," he replied, "means knowing when power must step back and when it must stand." Zyra closed her eyes. For the first time, she did not feel proud. She felt worthy. Zyra stood alone at the observation window. Stars moved slowly beyond the glass. Once, they had made her feel powerful. Now they made her feel small. Her armor was repaired, but her confidence was not. She no longer thought about winning. She thought about consequences. That scared her. A message appeared on her wrist. Report to council chamber. Her heart tightened. This was not a human room. This was the interspecies council. Every race had a voice here. When Zyra entered, the chamber was full. Tall beings, ancient species, warriors and thinkers. And humans. Ethan stood near the center. "Zyra of the Cruxian race," a council voice echoed. "You are accused of repeated violations." Whispers filled the chamber. Her own people were watching remotely. "Your strength has caused harm," another voice said. "Why should we allow you to remain here?" Zyra opened her mouth, then closed it. Once, she would have defended herself with pride. Now she stayed silent. Ethan stepped forward. "She has changed," he said. The council turned toward him. "Humans always say that," a cold voice replied. Ethan did not argue. Instead, he played the footage. The corridor incident. The punishment. The reactor rescue. No words. Just actions. Silence followed. A massive alien leaned forward. "She broke rules," it said. "Then broke them again." "Yes," Ethan replied. "But the reason changed." The council turned to Zyra. "Speak." A voice commanded. She swallowed. "I was taught that strength is taking control," she said slowly. "Humans taught me that strength is carrying burden." Murmurs spread. "If you stay," another voice said, "you will never command again." Zyra looked up. Once, that would have destroyed her. "I accept," she said. Shock rippled through the chamber. Ethan watched her carefully. "You choose to stay powerless?" the voice asked. "No," Zyra replied. "I choose to serve." That word again. Service. The council was silent for a long time. Finally, a decision came. "Zyra will remain," the voice said, "under human supervision." Relief and fear mixed inside her. Later, Ethan walked beside her through the hall. "You did not have to accept that," he said. "Yes," Zyra replied. "I did. Why?" he asked. She stopped walking. "Because power without purpose almost destroyed me," she said. "And humans gave me one." Ethan nodded. But the galaxy was watching. News spread fast. Human discipline reforms alien warrior. Human control replaces alien dominance. Not everyone was pleased. A Craxian war fleet changed course. They did not come to talk. They came to take Zyra back. Alarms blared across Orion Gate. Multiple warships detected. Zyra looked at the screen. Craxian markings. Her people. "They will demand me," she said quietly. "Yes," Ethan replied. "And if we refuse?" she asked. Ethan's voice was steady. "Then humans will stand their ground." Zyra felt something break inside her. "They will fight you," she said. "They are stronger." Ethan looked at the fleet calmly. "They always are," he said. "Zyra, step forward." "Then let me go," she said. "Do not bleed for my mistake." Ethan turned to her. This was never just about you, he said. The fleet hailed the station. A harsh voice filled the command room. Return our warrior, it demanded. She belongs to us. Zira moved toward the console. She does not, Ethan said first. She chose. The Crexian voice laughed. Humans think choice beats blood? Ethan answered calmly. Yes. Zira watched him. For the first time she understood that human discipline was not correction, that it was belief that someone could be better. And now the galaxy was about to test that belief. The Krasian warships filled the stars outside Orion Gate. Massive, armed, angry, Zira stood in the command center, watching the fleet that once defined her life. Those ships were her people, her blood, her past, and now, her greatest fear. They will attack, she said quietly. Ethan stood beside her, hands behind his back. No armor, no weapon. Maybe, he replied, but not yet. The main screen flashed again. Incoming transmission. Ethan nodded to the officer. Put them through. The image of a Craxian warlord appeared. Scarred face. Cold eyes. Human. The warlord said, "You are harboring our warrior." "She is not property," Ethan replied calmly. "She was born Craxian," the warlord snapped. "She belongs to us." Zira felt old anger stir, but she stayed silent. "She belongs to herself," Ethan said. "And she chose to stay." The warlord laughed. "Choice is a lie humans tell the weak." Ethan did not raise his voice. Then, "You misunderstand us," he said. The warlord leaned forward. "Release her," he growled, "or we will take her." Around the room, officers tensed. Zira stepped forward. "Commander," she said, "let me speak." Ethan looked at her carefully, then nodded. She faced the screen. "I am Zira," she said. "I stand under human law." Gasps echoed. "You shame us," the warlord roared. "You kneel to soft creatures." Zira's voice did not shake. "No." She said, "I stand beside them." The warlord's eyes burned. "Then you are no longer Craxian." Something inside Zira cracked. "Not pain, release." "Then I accept that," she said. The transmission cut. Silence filled the command room. "They will attack." An officer said. "Yes," Ethan replied. Zira turned to him. "You could still hand me over," she said. "When this?" Ethan met her eyes. "If we do," he said, "everything we taught you becomes a lie." Alarms blared. Weapons charged. The Craxian fleet moved into attack. Formation. Zira's heart pounded. Humans were outmatched in raw power, but they did not panic. They moved with calm precision. Defensive. Grid online. Civilian sectors sealed. Evacuation complete. No screens. No chaos. Only order. The first Craxian shot fired. Human shields absorbed it. Another shot. Another. Ethan raised a hand. "Hold fire," he said. Zira stared at him. "They are attacking us." She shouted. "Yes," Ethan replied. "And we are protecting lives." A Craxian cruiser broke through the perimeter. It aimed directly at a civilian dock. Zira's breath stopped. She knew what would happen. Before anyone could stop her, she moved. She ran to a control pod. "Zira!" Ethan shouted. She ignored him. She launched a small human defense craft. No weapons. Only engines. She flew straight toward the cruiser. On the open channel, she spoke. "I am Zira," she said. "If you fire, you kill me first." The warlord appeared. "Again, you dare?" he hissed. "Yes," she replied. "Because this is what humans taught me." The cruiser hesitated. Seconds passed. Human ships moved silently into position, not to attack, but to shield. The warlord realized too late. Humans were not fighting the fleet. They were boxing it in. Every move blocked. Every shot wasted. Strategic. Restraint. The Craxian fleet began to pull back. Not defeated. Outplayed. The warlord's voice returned, filled with fury. "You have changed her," he said to Ethan. Ethan replied calmly. "No," he said. "She chose to change." The fleet jumped away. Stars returned to quiet. Zira landed the craft and stepped out. Shaking. Ethan approached her. "You disobeyed orders," he said. She lowered her head. "Yes," she whispered. He placed a hand on her shoulder. "And you acted with purpose," he said. "That is command." Tears filled her eyes. For the first time, she felt free. Not from rules, from fear. And across the galaxy, one truth spread fast. Humans did not rule by force. They ruled by conviction. The war was over before it truly began. Orion. Gate returned to normal. Ships moved. People worked. Life continued. But something had changed. Zira stood in the central hall where it all started. The same place where she once laughed and broke human rules. Now she waited. Not as a warrior. Not as a prisoner. As a guardian. The Interstellar Council gathered again. This time, the chamber was quieter. No shouting. No threats. Only attention. "The Craxian fleet has withdrawn," a council voice said. "They suffered no losses." Another voice followed. "Because humans refused to fight." Ethan stood beside Zira. "We fought," he said calmly. "Just not the way you expected." The council turned to Zira. "You stood between your people and ours," a voice said. "Why?" She thought for a moment. "Because humans taught me that power is not taking lives," she said. "It is stopping death." Silence followed. Then something rare happened. The council agreed. A new law was written. Any species under human jurisdiction would be judged by action, not blood. Choice would matter. Discipline would mean responsibility, not fear. Zira felt her chest tighten. Ethan turned to her. "Do you understand what this means?" he asked. She nodded slowly. "It means no one will own me again," she said. "And?" he asked. "And I will help others learn what I learned," she replied. Her role was decided. Zira became a human liaison guardian, not a soldier, not an enforcer. Bridge. She walked among aliens who feared humans. She spoke calmly. She listened. When conflict rose. She did not threaten. She explained. Some listened. Some did not. But none could deny the truth. Anymore. Humans were not weak. They were disciplined. One cycle later, a small alien child ran up to Zira in the hall. "Are humans scary?" the child asked. Zira smiled gently. "No," she said. "They are patient." The child thought for a moment. "Are you human now?" it asked. Zira looked toward the stars. "No," she said softly. "I am better." From her homeworld, messages came. Some called her traitor. Others asked questions. Then came the last message from the Craxian warlord. One line only. "We are watching." Zira sent no reply. She did not need to. Humans did not answer threats. They answered with consistency. Ethan watched her from across the hall. "You did well," he said. She shook her head. "I learned," she replied. Ethan smiled slightly. "That is all we ever wanted." As Zira walked away, the camera of history followed her, a former misbehaving warrior. Changed not by pain, not by fear, but by firm discipline. And across the galaxy, one truth became law. Never mistake human calm for weakness. Never mistake human discipline for mercy. Because when humans stand firm, even the stars listen.